Before we begin, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because stories like this, the untold human truths behind music legends, deserve to be remembered, not rushed past. Now let's begin. There comes a point in a long life when holding the truth becomes heavier than speaking it. For Smokey Robinson, that moment didn't arrive in youth, fame, or scandal. It arrived quietly at 85 years old. After decades of music that shaped generations, after marriages, regrets, and the kind of silence only time can build, Smokey finally allowed himself to say what he had never spoken plainly before. It wasn't a shocking scandal or a dramatic revelation meant to stir headlines. It was something far more personal and far more painful, a truth about love that never really ended, only learned how to hide. When people think of Smokey Robinson, they imagine Motown magic, velvet vocals, poetic lyrics, and friendships with icons like Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, and Diana Ross. They expect warm nostalgia and polished memories of a golden era. But when Smokey spoke openly about love in his later years, his words carried a different weight. "We are capable of loving more than one person at the same time," he said calmly. It sounded reflective, almost philosophical. But behind that sentence lived a memory he had carried for more than half a century, one that never faded, no matter how much life moved forward. For the first time publicly, Smokey acknowledged that during the early 1960s, while he was married to Claudette Rogers, he was also deeply involved in a private, emotional relationship with Diana Ross. He didn't dramatize it. He didn't deny responsibility. He simply told the truth. He said it happened naturally, quietly, and emotionally, two people working closely, sharing pressure, ambition, and history. He called it beautiful. He said he loved her then. And most surprisingly, he admitted that part of that love never truly disappeared. To understand why this confession mattered so much, you have to go back long before Motown had a name, long before chart-topping hits and screaming crowds, back to Detroit in the early 1950s. Smokey was a skinny boy from the North End who had already lost his mother at a young age. Life had taught him about absence before it taught him about success. Diana Ross lived nearby, a young girl full of curiosity, ambition, and a quiet determination that set her apart. They weren't stars. They weren't even artists yet. They were children sharing sidewalks, neighborhoods, and dreams bigger than the streets around them. As Smokey formed the group that would become the Miracles and began writing songs at an astonishing pace, Diana was finding her own voice. When Berry Gordy discovered Smokey's songwriting talent and helped launch what would become Motown, Smokey became more than a singer. He became a mentor, and Diana was one of the people he guided. He helped her enter the Motown world, taught her studio discipline, and believed in her long before the world did. Their bond wasn't romantic at first. It was rooted in trust, familiarity, and shared beginnings. Motown in the early 1960s was not glamorous behind the scenes. It was intense, demanding, and unforgiving. Young artists worked endlessly under pressure, knowing that one song could change everything. In that environment, Smokey and Diana leaned on each other. They understood the weight of expectation, the fear of failure, and the loneliness that fame brings even when surrounded by people. What grew between them wasn't planned. Smokey would later say it wasn't about chasing or temptation. It was gravity, two lives shaped by the same streets, pulled together by shared history. At the same time, Smokey was married to Claudette Rogers, his partner in life and music. She had been with him before the success, through the struggle, through the touring and sacrifices. Their marriage was built on loyalty and shared hardship, but fame began to stretch that bond thin. Smokey was constantly on the road, writing hits not only for himself but for other Motown artists. Claudette suffered miscarriages, exhaustion, and emotional distance while holding their life together. Smokey didn't fully understand the cost at the time. He was moving too fast to see what was breaking quietly behind him. When Diana Ross emerged as the face of the Supremes, she and Smokey crossed paths constantly. They were equals now, both carrying the weight of Motown's success. Their emotional connection deepened during a time when Smokey's marriage was strained and his life felt unbalanced. The relationship that followed wasn't reckless or loud. It was intimate, emotional, and rooted in years of unspoken understanding. That was what made it so painful. And in the end, it was Smokey who walked away. It was Diana. She told him she couldn't continue. She knew Claudette. She knew Smokey still loved his wife, and she refused to be the reason a family was destroyed. Smokey later admitted that moment stayed with him forever. Loving two people at once wasn't romantic to him. It was devastating. Choosing loyalty meant losing something he never fully recovered from. The affair ended, but the feelings didn't vanish. They simply went silent. After Diana stepped away, Smokey returned to his marriage, but the distance remained. Claudette had already endured so much, and now there was an emotional fracture neither of them could fully repair. As Smokey's responsibilities grew vice president of Motown, lead singer, songwriter, the weight became unbearable. He was writing songs about love and longing while living inside unresolved guilt. By the mid-1970s, their marriage ended. Smokey later admitted that multiple affairs, including the one with Diana Ross, contributed to its collapse. Diana moved on too. She married, raised children, and built a global career that took her far beyond Motown. Publicly, she and Smokey remained close, appearing together, smiling, honoring each other. To the world, they were lifelong colleagues. Privately, they were two people who had loved deeply and chosen restraint over desire. Smokey never spoke publicly about their relationship for decades. But when he spoke about Diana, his tone always softened. There was respect, tenderness, something unfinished. As the years passed, Smokey faced addiction, recovery, personal loss, and renewed success. Albums like A Quiet Storm revealed emotional depth shaped by real pain. Awards followed. Honors piled up. To the world, he looked complete. But privately, certain memories never faded. In later interviews, as age stripped away pretense, Smokey finally allowed himself to speak honestly. He didn't call Diana the one who got away. He didn't frame their story as a mistake. He simply acknowledged that some loves don't disappear. They remain quiet, permanent, and unresolved. At 85, Smokey Robinson wasn't chasing headlines. He was making peace with his life. When he said, "I love her right till today," it wasn't nostalgia. It was truth. A truth shaped by time, loss, loyalty, and regret. Diana Ross wasn't just a chapter. She was part of the emotional language that shaped his music, his choices, and his understanding of love. So what do you think? Were Smokey Robinson and Diana Ross soulmates who met at the wrong time? Or was their story exactly what it needed to be, unfinished, honest, and human? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories behind the legends we think we know.